Welcome, everybody. This is Wednesday, September 21st, 2022, and you are in the iBUG Android Insight Call. This is where we come together as a community to talk about Android platform. So whether it is your cell phone, smartphone, I know it's the same thing, your Alexa devices, your Google devices, anything that runs on an Android platform, we are here to answer your questions from the Fire tablets to the Google tablets to, well, the Android tablets. So just remember, all questions are welcomed, and we will do our best as a community to help each other. So I am your facilitator, one of them, Ava Harshid, and my co-facilitator is Harsh Trivedi. I think he is still there. Well, I want to welcome everybody again. And we want to thank you for joining us. And some of the things that's going on with iBUG is the coming Friday on the 23rd, we have the iBUG movie night. You know, well, everybody's welcome to come in and join in. The movie for this Friday is Our Friend 2019. So, and then we also have the Apple workshop on Saturday, September 24th. Come in and join in about things about the iPhone and hear what's up today and what's coming in, what's new. And if you want to know more about what's going on and stuff, go to our website, ibugtoday.com, and there you can sign up and actually get an email to you, monthly updates, weekly updates on what's going on, times and dates that they're happening, as well as you can go there and read, go back and review old shows, podcasts from the iBUG Insight show.
Hey Ava, I'm right here with you, Ava. I didn't go anywhere. I'm just tuning in, you know. And of course, our website, ibugtoday.com. And then if you wanted to join into the mailing list, it is iBUG Android Insight plus subscribe at groups.io. So if you send us a blank email on that address, you will find that you'll be part of the group. So if you have questions, maybe, you know, aside from today, we do the show every third Wednesday, so of every month. So if we might not have gotten to your question, or you might have more detailed information that you want, throw us a line. You know, we might be able to address it. We might be able to get you hooked up with people that might know more than we do, because again, this is all a community-based system. So I'll give it back to you, Ava.
Yes, so I want to welcome everybody tonight, and let's go around and see who all is in on our call this evening. So if you'd like to unmute yourself, introduce yourself, let us know if this is your first time, how did you hear about the call? What device do you have? Or are you someone who's interested in learning more about it to see if you would like to get a device, an Android device? So let's go ahead and open it up for everybody to come in and introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is Shay. I'm from Everett, Washington, and I have Android products, and I would like to know how to use them a little better, more efficiently. And I watched the movies on Friday, so I think that's how I heard about you. I was referred originally by one of the members of my Snohomish County Council of the Blind in Washington State.
Okay, well, welcome, Shay. We're glad to have you.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. It's exciting. I've heard of Tacoma and Everett, so I think I'm getting there. Seattle, Tacoma, Everett. I'm getting there.
Yes. Okay. Next.
Okay, people, this is Foster Brown. I'm from Houston, Texas, and I have several Android-based devices. Um, but one of my favorite ones is the OnePlus 8.
I'm gonna have to ask you why, but welcome, Foster. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Okay.
Dana from Cincinnati. I have an Echo Dot.
Well, welcome,
Well, Mr.
Daniel.
Dana, welcome. And Mr. Dana, you got any jokes for this? You know, you always got jokes on other channels. You got any jokes lined up for us maybe later on?
No, just on
Fresh out.
Friday.
Okay. So everybody, remember, Mr. Dana has some incredible jokes. Show up on Fridays for our movie night, and you get to hear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody else wants to introduce themselves and let us know what kind of Android device you might have or anything like that.
This is Gail from Houston. I have a Samsung Galaxy S20 and a Samsung Galaxy Watch and multiple Echo devices.
Welcome back, Miss Gail. It's been.
I know. I've been busy.
Welcome back.
This is Kevin Ratliff from Austin, and I have the Google Pixel 6 Pro, the Samsung Galaxy S22, a Pixel 4, a Galaxy Watch 4, and other Google Home devices. And I will, by the time we, I guess, convene next month, I'll have the Pixel Watch. So,
Right. Well, welcome, Kevin. Right. Do we have anybody else that would like to introduce themselves?
This is Richard from New York.
Welcome, Richard.
And a Monday meeting, I heard that this would be the meeting for Android phones. I hope that this is the meeting for that.
Yes, it is.
Okay, good, because I got an Android phone and I hope to get the issue resolved today. So thank you so much.
Okay.
Welcome aboard.
All right. Is there anybody else that would like to introduce themselves? I think we got everybody. Okay, so we will open the floor up. Well, let me introduce myself before I do that. I'm Ava Caruth. I have a Samsung Galaxy Note 25, 20?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 20. Okay. I also have several Lady A devices, a couple of the Google devices. I have a Galaxy Watch that I love whenever I do use it. I think that's about it at this time. I'm always adding to my arsenal. So, Hershey, to you.
Wow, I had to count my phone over there. Okay, so we talked about I heard S22 Ultra earlier, Kevin, I think, or is it Ultra or maybe S22. So I have S22 as my daily driver, and then let's see, what else do I have? I have Pixel 4 XL, which is my Pixel phone, if you want to call it that. My old time favorite, my old hound dog, if you want to call it, would be my Note 9. It's so reliable, and it's always been reliable. It had magnetic strips for, going to the grocery stores and stuff like that. And they've taken away a lot of technology from us. But Note 9, my favorite phone, still have it. Pixel 4 XL, bigger screen, valuable phone. It has the Face ID that Google really wanted to introduce, but they kind of stepped back a little bit. And then the Ultra that I mentioned, S22 Ultra, I do use a lot of Google speakers versus the A-Lady speakers, just in the sense of ecosystems. So the Nest Audio, I have the Hub, I have a couple other mini, I think one mini laying around in front of me somewhere. But main thing is the assistant gives you, the ability to do a lot of things with your smart home and that kind of thing. So I use my speakers for that, and the Nest Audio gives me enough thump to energize me to go clean the bathroom when you have to, right? I had to do that earlier. So
There you go. And I also want to add in, I do have a Fire tablet and a Galaxy tablet
oh
as
yeah,
well.
so okay, so is it okay if I could pick on you today, Ava? Like you're gonna be Miss Amazon Woman, right?
No.
No, okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
always
you
pick on
know
Ava
with
earlier in the
it.
show. Like you're Miss Amazon and I'm Mr. Google. We
Yes.
have our specialties, but it's you, the audience, we're really wanting to hear from. So if you have questions, like I said, the stage is open to you.
Just remember, please say your name and wait to be recognized.
Well, my name is Shay.
All right, Shay, your question is or comment?
Well, I have a Samsung Galaxy Tab A tablet, and then I have the Android phone. And I'm wondering, is there any way that I can get them to put things on my television so I can use it as a screen so it's bigger?
So this is Hershey. I have a question. You said the Android phone. What brand perhaps would be your Android phone?
It's a Samsung, I believe.
Okay, so both devices would be a Samsung a tablet and then a Samsung phone. So, Ava, let's throw it out there, right? Let's throw it to our audience. Our audience is
Mhm.
amazing at answering questions. So, here we are. Anybody in the audience?
Yes, Kevin.
Go ahead, Kevin.
The first thing to consider is what brand TV do you have? If you have a Samsung TV, then you just be able to, I'm not sure which um, technology they use, but you can definitely cast your um, screen uh, to the TV. Otherwise, you can get something like a Chromecast to cast the information from your TV, especially if it's certain apps or certain programs you can cast to the TV if you have the Chromecast dongle. And I'm not sure about casting using the Alexa app and the Fire Stick. I'm not sure about um, how much they allow you to do, but with the Chromecast, which you can purchase if you don't have a Samsung, then you'll be able to cast via the Chromecast.
Thank you.
Well, perfect. Thank you. So, was that helpful for you at least? Does it kind of get you to the red spaces?
Yes, very
Perfect.
much so. Yes, I didn't even know where to start. I'm not at home right now, so I'm not sure, but I think we do have one Samsung TV, an RCA, and a Sony. So I should be able to make this work. Thank you. I'm just tickled.
Not a problem.
Yeah,
Well, I
and
wanted to
This
ask
is
you.
not sure.
this is Foster.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Foster.
So when you're what's your primary reason for wanting to cast to your TV?
I want to take pictures of the mail that comes in our house and be able to put them on the TV so that I can see them. Have a little bit of double vision in one eye, and I think if I could get them onto the TV, I could see what's coming into the house.
Oh, okay. Okay, all right. Okay. Oh, wow, that leads to another issue, right, Hershey?
Well, I'm not. I'm
I'm
not tongue
curious.
tied. I promise. I'm not tongue tied. Let me undo the tongue. Okay, I'm back. What I'm trying to say here is, I see a couple different avenues, right? So Google Lookout is definitely the thing you're probably fluttering in your head. Like Google Lookout just popped up in the top of your head, like, hey, Lookout, because for mail,
Mhm.
that would be the best output. But as far as using something as a magnifying device, I have other opinions. I'm going to give you a technical opinion.
Thank you.
Since you have some site and you're, or am I assuming? Do you have, what is your site like? Are you
It's
working with no
20,
site,
I
little site?
fluctuate from 2100 to 2200 in one eye. Everything is fuzzy and double vision, but
Perfect.
I can,
So
if it's big enough, I can see things a little.
you're in the right spot. No worries. The only reason I'm asking is I know how to explain something, right? Because I could say, yeah, go use a screen reader, and you're gonna be like, blink, blink, blink. What is a screen reader? No. So
I've heard
screen
of
reader
them,
is not
but
the answer,
oh,
but
good. Okay.
there are other pieces of software. Now, they are pieces of software like webcam software, right? That Filmic Pro, this, that, and the other, that you're looking at the image. But what is your end goal? Our end goal for you specifically for what you're asking is you're trying to read mail and then potentially you want to take that Samsung device or whatever device and then plop it onto a bigger screen so that you're casting exactly what you see in front of you.
Mhm.
There's two components to that. Some people will let you know that, hey, you need to start learning how to listen to audio. Okay, that's one component. It's just reality. I mean, it is what
Mhm.
it is. I'm low vision, so I understand your struggles through this process. So the other process of it is, how do you grab some kind of image that you could rely on? So if you wanted to use something like a webcam software, piece of software, like Filmic Pro is one, um, Camo is another one. It's basically using like your cell phone as a camera, a webcam. But if that helps you to zoom into some mail or something for your computer, that might just help. The other component could be using something depending on what operating system you're on, with JAWS and Fusion and all of that. So for low vision stuff, there is continuity even on the Android platform, but it just depends on what is your end goal. Because there's a lot of middle line things. So if it's just reading mail, my highest recommendation would be to check out a software and check out our show from June. We had Scott Adams from the Google Lookout Assisted Vision team. They have an app where you could use it as a document reader, and exactly what you're saying, take that piece of mail, it'll tell you bank it to the left, bank it to the right, bank it up. Okay, stay steady. And then it'll take a click, and then you'll have text spitting back out at you. But again, it's not visual, but it does give you that idea of what is at least in front of you. So yesterday, for example, I made lasagna, the Stouffer's, right? But reading the directions, I still used that same app, and it told me directions 1 through 8, and it gave me exactly the information I needed. So that might be a useful resource for you.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Kevin,
This is Richard.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Richard.
Go ahead, you guys.
I just wanted to say that. Okay. Well, I was just wanted to address her issue of saying that I don't know how long she's been blind or visually impaired, but you know, a simpler solution, if you can get an agency to purchase it, or if you can purchase yourself, or just a hardware magnifier, CCTV, or any of the hundreds of different magnifying programs that they have on the market that people use for that very purpose for mail. They even have some Android-based ones if you wanted it to run on Android, but they have all kinds of magnifying devices, ones that you can hook up to your computer monitor if you have a large computer monitor, freestanding ones that come with the screen. So there are magnifying solutions. I don't know if you have one of those and you just wanted the convenience of the cell phone, but there are, you know, magnifying solutions that serve just that purpose for magnifying documents.
Evan, since you are in this industry, so to speak, with training, I had a question for you specifically. Does the HDMI to USB-C work the same way? If she were to get the HDMI to USB-C cable, could she hook that up to any device at that point and still pull the screen data?
Yes.
Okay. So, Ms. Shea, so like what, as Kevin is alluding to what he explained with the different options that you have, there is one little technical cable, as they say, if you want to call it that, but it's not technical at all. It's just HDMI to USB-C. So what that does, it converts that HDMI plug in the back of your TV. You plug that in, and then maybe it's 3 foot, 6 foot, however long you get the cable, and then the other end of that cable plugs into your phone through the charging port. So what that might give you is that extra screen as you're trying to cast and do that data transfer of a screen to screen. And there are many pieces of software, like depending on what phone and atmosphere you're in. Pixel does their thing, Samsung does their thing. You should have a solution between the two where you could hook up your phone and still get that adequate information off of your devices. And on top of that, if you were to use, there's an app that I want to recommend to you since you are a bit of a low vision user, which is called WeZoom, WEZZOOM. So WEZ or ZOOM. And that's kind of a magnifier app that's been there from long ago. Kevin might know if that app is still in existence because I haven't used it in a while, but it at least will give you a magnifier. So if you see better with black background, yellow font, or you see better with blue background and yellow font, you have the ability to have a digital magnifier in your palm of your hands and not spend buku money on, something that costs you $1,000. And yeah, it's the same thing.
That's wonderful. Thank you. I've taken good notes. Thank you very much.
And one thing I could
Foster.
add to that is just to join the list, because we could give you this information back to you if you did. I know you're writing it down. I appreciate that, but just join the list again and go ahead, Foster.
Yeah. So another option you have, because I'm low vision too. My vision's just slightly better than yours. But what I do to like if there's something I do want to read mail, I have it's like a CCTV, except it doesn't cost thousands of dollars. It's a handheld magnifier that connects to the back of your TV, and you just run the magnifier over the mail, and it goes right up on your TV. But it's handheld. The last I checked, I saw one that was like $100, so if you're still trying to use your vision, and you don't want to spend a whole lot of money, like on a CCTV or some of the software or something, you can get that physical device, and that'll pretty much work. You can plug it up to any TV, and if you have something like mail, you just run it over the mail, and it casts on the TV. Or if you like to read books, you could run it over the page of the book and read the book as you go along.
Thank you. These are some great ideas.
Thanks, Foster, and then thank you, Michelle. Ava, I'm going to throw it back to you. You want to head up with the next question?
Dana.
Go ahead, Dana.
Yeah, this has to do with the Echo Dot. When you say, hey lady, and you want to make sure it's listening to you, how do you set up that little sound effect to make sure it's listening to you? Like when you say, hey lady, and it goes dong, and then you say your question, and then it tells you what you want to know. I used to have it set up like that, but I forgot how to do it.
Well, Mr. Dana, I do appreciate you always showing up to iBUG events, and especially us over here at Android Insight. As for Ms. Shea, she's brand new, so let's show her how this iBUG stuff works. So we're going to throw it to the audience. Does anybody have an answer for Mr. Shea? Or Mr. Dana, sorry.
Ziggy, turn on answer feedback.
I'm not sure.
Ziggy is trying to talk to Ava. Ava, you want to talk to Ziggy?
Yeah.
What's Ziggy trying to do to you over there, huh?
Yeah, no, I'm trying to see because I know what he's talking about, and the command has eluded me to what you say.
I wanna say go back to the app. Mr. Dana, could you just repeat that one more time? Because I was when you mentioned it, I pointed back to the app in my brain.
Yeah. What do I say now?
So you want the beeping sound? That's what it
Yeah.
is. That's a beeping sound.
Yeah.
So the best bet I want to say, depending on if you have Android, iOS, is always go to the Alexa app,
Right.
and
Yeah.
within the settings, there might be some kind of a tone. I'm trying to remember because I do live in the Google's sphere a little bit more than I dabble in the other one. But
Yeah.
we have a couple new listeners. So here's a question from Mr. Dana. Does anybody out there know how to change a setting in your A-Lady device, Echo dot da da da, that will give you a tone when you start talking to it, and it'll give you end tone? I heard a couple new people, so if somebody else has an answer, please
Yeah,
help.
yeah, that was my question. Yeah. I am like when you say ALAXA and then it'll go dong, and then you say question. And then if you want, you can also
Okay,
set that.
here's my blind guess. No pun intended. If you go to accessibility, if you go to the app like Alexa app, right? You go to settings.
Right.
While you're in settings, because this is how it is in Google. So for a Google device, just to give you at least that, and it should be similar, is that you go to the device settings. So let's just say it's your Echo Dot to specific, that's the dot that you're trying to work with. You would go to that specific setting tree or more options. And then within that, look under maybe where it says accessibility. I would more than likely think that the tone that you're requiring, when it blinks on and off when you're speaking to it. So okay, Google, that tone.
Yeah, no, Mr. Dana, Hershey's right, but you go to your Lady A app, okay? You go under devices, find that device, okay? The one you wanting to do, and then open it and then go under settings under that, and it will give you options for, what is that called? Speak,
Is this sound settings?
yeah, it should be under, it's either sound settings or it's right there when you go under settings.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. And try that because you have to do it for each device, but I know there is a verbal command for it. And if I don't figure it out before the night is over, I will have it next month for everybody to know what the verbal command is, because I did it all verbally with all of my Lady A devices except for one, and that's the one in my office. So, but that's
Okay.
the first step, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, any
Hey,
more
this is
questions?
Man.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Mandy. Was that, I just got in a little bit late. Sorry about that. Was that question about the iPhone Alexa or the Android? I mean, even though it's the Android call, I thought maybe.
Android.
Oh, okay. Because you were heading in the right direction, and I don't know how different the iPhone app is.
No, it's the same, Mandy. It's the same app. You would go about it the same whether you're on an iPhone or an Android. Once you go in the Lady A app, you go to devices and you find that particular device.
And after that, I had to pick Echo and Alexa, and it was the first button, but I had other things that I might have paired. And then I picked the Echo that I want.
Yes.
And then, just like you said, that's settings. And it was under general sounds, and it's called request sounds, start of request and end of request. You think that's what it is?
Yes, no, that is exactly what it is.
Awesome, thank you. You got me pointed in the right direction. Huh?
Yes.
All right.
And then there's also under there is the one for to have a 5 seconds. So wait. So if you want to answer back once it answers, you have that option under there as well.
Hello? Hello?
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Hi. Yes, I'm new to this class or this meeting. I was trying to Zoom, but I guess because I have an Android, I think it's for the Apple devices.
No, it's for the Android too.
Because when I clicked on the link, it would say. I mean, I just couldn't. I did the phone line, so
Mhm.
it's just. I guess this is what the phone line is the best. I guess right now for me.
Okay. Yeah, just remember, announce your name and what is your name?
My name is Erica
Okay.
Briano.
Okay, welcome, Erica.
Thank you.
All right. Any more questions, comments? Let's let them
This is
flow.
Foster.
All right, Foster.
Yeah, I want the guy from New York. He said he has some questions. So
Okay. Okay, Richard.
yeah, hit us with your question.
Thank you, Foster.
Yes. Yes, Foster. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm letting everybody go and have their time. I actually got a question, but also the lady that was on before that had the mail and trying to read her mail or incise the mail. I hope she's still hearing this or still on. But there's other things too in settings that you can go to your Android. There, it's right in settings that you can set it up, and it has magnifiers right in the settings itself. It can enlarge print, and it's right in the settings itself. Or there is other apps, and I have them on mine. I think, and I hope you can get them too. You mentioned you have an Android, and I have them, and one is called SuperSense, and that works. It reads it for you with the camera on the phone itself. It's an app, and also if that doesn't work for you, there's another one that's Be My Eyes, where you're actually dealing with a live person. You just go to the app of it says Be My Eyes, tap it in, and then it says call next available help service, and you push that in, and you have to wait, and it will tell you that waiting to connect to a helping eyes or a helping service, and you can let them know, like, hey, I'm trying to see this mail, and just point the camera, and they direct you. SuperSense works good for me, and Be My Eyes works good for me, and I don't have next to nothing of eyesight, so I have to actually rely on for the phone to do it for me. So I get what you mean there. That so the enlarged print for me doesn't work, or the contrast of black to white, white to black, or making it a very heavy contrast. But enlargement, that's all right there. Magnifying is all right there in settings for me. So SuperSense is an app, and Be My Eyes is an app. So hopefully that will help as well for you if you so choose to use it. And what works best for you is awesome, and that's always the best route to go.
Thank you very much for your input. I will check those things out.
And you're welcome so much. And my question is for myself. I have the Android, and I've been trying to figure out, and I've been trying to watch what I'm doing, because when I touch it or I go to pick up the phone, I've tried to watch, like, am I using two fingers? Do I accidentally hit it? So I'm really careful of trying to touch the screen. But every once in a while, for just no reason, when I touch it, bump it, it automatically goes to a different language. It's Russian, or it's American Spanish, or it's Spanish. And I'm wondering, is there any way to lock languages out you don't want? Like, just lock in the language you want and need, and just lock out the rest to where that just doesn't happen. Another language just automatically takes over.
This is Kevin.
All right, go ahead. Oh, one second, Kevin. So, Mr. Richard, what other language do you
Yeah.
know how to speak? I mean, it is New York after all, you know.
Well, no, I only know English. I don't know how
I'm
to
joking.
speak.
I'm joking. So this
I
problem
don't know.
this problem is common, and I apologize. I did hear you earlier, and Kevin and everybody were talking, and we welcome you. Thank you so much for joining us from New York. What part of New York, by the way?
It's Hyde Park. It's about 11, or not 11. My fault now. It's 100 miles north of the city of New York City, and it's
So close to
100 miles
Albany and
south
stuff.
of Albany.
Albany. Okay,
No,
perfect.
we're dead center. We're like the halfway mark. So if you're traveling from Albany to the city or the
Yeah,
city to Albany, we're like right dead center, the
dead
halfway
center.
mark of 100
That is
miles.
awesome. So, like, do you use your phone a lot with travel and that sort of speak? You know, like, is that part of your journey? Whenever you have to go to the city and stuff, is that kind of a thing you do?
Oh no, I don't really travel to the city and stuff like that. No, I do
Understood.
travel here within my own neighborhood, but
Right.
I don't. Um, I do use SuperSense. That's another good thing for that
Yeah,
lady.
you
That
mentioned like, and then that's I was really happy you mentioned these apps, right? Like SuperSense, Envision AI,
yep.
Envision AI, and then SuperSense AI, SuperSense AI, and SuperSense, their team is interesting. I've heard a few podcasts around the block, if you want to call it, the accessibility block as we call it, but it's interesting with what they offer and for whom the product is for, right? That's the other part of it.
Mm,
And so
yes.
tonight I think we're talking about like Envision AI, we're talking about all these products. I would say, for like example, Shay, I'm not picking on you, but Envision AI is a good product for you because it does have a magnifier built in, as well as it will read text, it'll read documents and such that. They have
Yep.
devices and stuff. I asked them to come by. They didn't want to come by, I guess. Envision AI at least, and we'll see. And with all the different products, and I think Kevin has some more information for you. So let me pass it back to Kevin. Kevin, go ahead.
Um, this is a big problem now that we have the swiping to the left and right with three fingers to get on different settings. And so a lot of people have been accidentally changing their phone to a language that they didn't know they had. What the best thing to do is to keep this from happening is that if you only speak one language, go ahead and go to talkback settings by tapping once with three fingers. That's the talkback menu. Go over to talkback settings and go to customize menus and take and uncheck the one that says spoken language. That way it will not be in your, so you have to go take it out of your talkback menu and take it out of your reading menu. There's two different menus. There's a talkback menu. That's when you tap once with three fingers. And then there's also the reading menu when you tap swipe left or right with three fingers, and you have like your characters, words, spoken language, hide screen if you want to add that to the list or whatever. But take it out of the mix so that you can never accidentally, um, because what's happening is that you're probably just brushing your phone, or maybe you're picking up your phone and maybe your thumb swipes up just a little bit, and the next thing you know, you're in German or whatever, and you don't even didn't even probably even install that language. It probably just came with the phone
Yeah,
because
and that's
Google
what
wants to be
happened.
so inclusive. They want to be very inclusive and not assume that everybody just speaks English. So it's really been a headache for a lot of people. A lot of people have been changing their phones to languages, and the thing is that it speaks only that language, so you can't even figure out how to turn it off, or what it's saying, so that you can disable it. So go ahead and try to go into the menus and check the reading menu and the talkback menu and uncheck spoken language so that that's not even an option that you can change.
So that would be the 3-tap to get into that area to change
Tap
that,
once with
and then
3
go
fingers,
to right.
Hey Kevin,
and it's
you
the
talking about
talkback
something like
menu.
this happens, like, you know, let's just turn her up. I mean, okay, so we want to turn the speech rate down.
Speech rate 191%. Speech rate 173%. Speech rate 150. Close search button. Search cancelled. Spoken language. Default. English. Ind. Wednesday, the 21st of September, 8:40. English. AUS. Update weather. Comma.
Yeah, so
Update
see,
weather.
fortunately for
Google
him, he only
Spotify.
has 2 languages,
English,
and they're both
USA.
English.
Keep notes. Amazon
And
Shopping.
everybody else
Galaxy
like
Store.
has
Default.
Chinese
Play Store.
Yeah,
Q.
right, and
English.
that's what
Ind.
happens
and
to
German
me.
and other
Yeah.
things.
It's
So
exactly. Mine changes the Russian, Spanish, and American, and I'm like, so it's the 3-tap, and the
So you'd
the
have
things
once
that
with
I
3 fingers,
once
and
with
then
the
you
3
swipe
fingers.
over to the right until you get to
Swipe.
talkback settings. That's the fastest way to get to talkback settings.
English. Ind. Keep your finger on the
Okay,
English. Ind.
and
Speech
then
rate.
what
And
I
then-
don't want, that's what I double tap on. What I don't want.
Right. Go into the reading menu. It's going to say customize reading menus, customize gestures. You want to go into where it says customize menus. And there's a reading menu and there's a talkback menu. And you can go and check the things that you would like to add. Like if you want to turn punctuation on and off, those are some of the things that are unchecked. If you want to add an item to hide your screen, that's one thing that's not automatically in that reading menu. So you could check that. But the one thing that you're looking for in both sections is spoken language, and you can take it out of both menus so that way you'd never accidentally change that.
Miss Richard, would you
And the
like to
next-
hear that, how it works, or do you have a good grasp of how that will work?
Yeah, if any, I would like to hear, because I got a 3 fingers tap swipe
Okay,
to
so
the right.
let me get my phone in here with a demonstration of it, the same exact thing we're talking about, right? So
Great,
what we're gonna
thank
do is you're gonna hear my screen reader. Just let me know if you got a
Mandy.
you got a clean.
Home screen 1
Okay,
of 3.
so we got 3 fingers.
Talkback menu. Page navigation. Inlet.
Okay.
Talkback settings.
Talkback settings.
Right.
Talkback set. Verbosity. Forward.
So off
New
the
features
top.
in talkback. Talkback settings. Out. New features in talk. Audio. Text to speech setting. Verbosity. Speak passwords. Sound and vibration. Controls. Heading. Customize focus indicator. Customize gestures. 9 of. Customize menus. 10 of 14. Showing Braille keyboard. 11 of.
So
Customize
we want to
menus.
go to
10 of 14.
customize menus.
Customize menus.
here.
Navigate up. Button. Out of list.
By the way,
Talkback.
I
Talkback menu.
apologize. I
High
didn't
screen.
I didn't
Inlet.
bring
Talkback
sounds in
settings.
there.
High
So
screen. Screen search.
so let's
Sound.
see.
Screen search. Sound feedback off. Sound
Let's
feedback
turn
on.
sound feedback on now.
Customize menus.
Does that help?
Customize talkback.
yes, it
Customize
does.
menus. Out of list.
So
Customize talkback menu.
Go ahead,
To
Kevin.
use the talkback menu, tap the screen
you
with
talk
3
me
fingers.
through.
You can also swipe up and right or swipe down then right.
Go to the right one more. Do this one,
Customize
other
reading
one
controls.
first.
To use the
This
reading
one right
controls,
here.
swipe left or right with 3 fingers. You can also swipe up or
Double
down with
tap.
3 fingers. 2 of 2.
Right here.
Double tap.
This is the one we want to do first. This is the
Customize
one
reading
that's giving
controls.
him the
Navigate
trouble.
up. Button. Out of list.
And then there's going to be things that you can check and
Customize reading
uncheck in
controls.
here. So
Reading.
it's going to
Heading.
show
1 of 20. In
characters,
list. 20 items.
words.
So there are 20 items, right? We got 1 to 20. There's a list of 20 items.
Checked. Checkbox. Characters. Read 1 character at a time. 2 of 20.
That's checked.
Checked. Checkbox. Words. Read 1 word at a time. 3 of
I
20.
like characters and words. Makes sense. Whoop. Okay, I raised my hand accidentally on the other keyboard. Let's
Checked. Checked. Checkbox. Paragraphs. Read 1 paragraph. Checked. Checkbox. Headings. Jump between. Checked. Checkbox. Controls. Jump between
all
items you
these
can
so
interact
far
with,
I have
like buttons, checkboxes, and text. Checked. Checkbox. Links. Jump between links. 8 of 20. Showing items 8 to 13 of. Not checked. Checkbox. Landmarks. Jump between landmarks on web pages, like main or navigation. 9 of 20.
quick
Leave that
question.
unchecked.
Kevin, is that worth it to check it or not
No,
check it?
yeah, leave that unchecked.
Not checked. Checkbox. Windows. Jump to other windows, like volume controls or the navigation bar. 10 of 20.
Kevin?
This is optional. Some people on one of my phones, I have this checked, on one I don't. This is so that you can move from the home screen to the status bar, and this will enable you to move through the items on the status bar a little easier than trying to drag your finger across the top of the screen to figure out like your battery and things like that. So this allows you to move through the windows when you want to. So, but it's up to you if you want
Screen
that
off.
checked.
Ringer silent.
Okay.
8:45 p.m.
Wow.
Not checked.
So
Checkbox. Windows. Jump to other window. Checked. Checkbox. Default navigation. Read one item at a time. 11 of 20.
I like this one. I mean, that's just from old school days, but I keep it checked.
Checked. Checkbox. Speed rate. Change how quickly talkback speaks. 12 of 20.
That's helpful.
Always leave that checked.
Not checked. Checkbox. Verbosity. Change with the typed keys. Usage hints. Grid info. And
I
other
don't
info is read
change
aloud.
this.
13 of
I leave
20.
this
Showing items
unchecked.
8 to 13 of 20. Not checked. Checkbox. Punctuation. Change whether punctuation and symbols are read aloud. 14 of 20. Checked. Checkbox. Spoken language. Change your spoken language. Shows only when you have multiple
Isn't
text
this
to
the
speech
question
languages
about?
installed.
Wait,
15
this
of
is the
20.
question, right? I got it right. This is the question.
Yes. Words you want to uncheck right here.
Not checked. Showing items 14 to 19
Done.
of 20.
It's out of the
Now
way.
that will never be in the 3-finger swipe, so that way
Done.
you can never
Yeah.
Special features.
accidentally.
Heading.
Oh,
16
wait,
of
wait,
20.
wait. I hear special feature. What's
Now
that
we
about,
have some
Kevin?
new
What's that
ones
about, Kevin?
that
I hear
you
special
might
features,
want.
Kevin.
Not checked. Checkbox. Hide screen. Hide the displays on your
Oh.
screen is not visible to others when in public places. 17 of 20.
I have this checked.
Not checked. Checkbox. Audio ducking. Lower volume of other audio playing when talkback speaks. 18 of 20. Showing not checked. Checkbox. Scroll. Scroll forward or backward. 19 of 20. Showing items 15 to 20 of 20.
Wait, that's 20 of 20. I think I counted right. 20. Yeah, I'm done.
It's just too bad we don't have 20/20 vision. But but no, that is awesome. So as soon as I check that on the spoken language, as soon as I go to that and double tap it and check it, that means now I do actually have the language that I want locked in, and no other language will come over.
Yes, because in your text-to-speech settings, you have your default language, which is set to English. And so that way you don't have to worry about it. But, don't do this while you have it set to Spanish or whatever, because then you'll be locked out. So make sure it's doing this. Make sure it's speaking to you in the language that you want before you uncheck that.
So a quick test, right, Mr. Richard and Kevin? Quick test.
Accessibility volume.
Okay, that's one thing I wanted. I have that checked.
Characters.
I do want characters checked.
Words.
I do want words.
Paragraphs.
I do like paragraphs.
Headings.
I should probably put headings on my stuff. It's better for accessibility.
Controls.
Controllers are good.
Links.
Links are awesome.
Default.
And yeah, I like to be defaulted.
Speech rate.
No, maybe that's a bad idea. Speech rate, you should keep it legible.
Accessibility volume.
And this back to the volume.
Characters.
And characters. So
now it's gone.
The languages. Boop. Ava, does the crowd have more questions?
Any more comments, questions?
Yeah, this is Richard. Real quick, when me and Kevin were talking about when it goes to the different languages, it's not easy to get it off, and it's very hard because obviously you don't understand what they're saying. I have found a way to get that off and to reset it. So, Kevin, this might be helpful. And for anybody else listening, if that happens, and instead of struggling to try to get it back to English or get it back to Russian or Spanish, whatever English you speak to, what I found out works is go to power, shut your power off, hold it and it says phone options, whatever, go to restart or shut power off, and if you have it set up properly and you have everything set up good and backup deals are good, it will, when you turn it back on, everything would reset itself back to the English or Spanish or Russian or whatever English you have it set to, or whatever English you speak. It will preset itself and reset itself all to that presettings you've already set it to. But it will take a little bit because you got to turn it off and turn it back on and let it all reboot, and it will actually reboot itself all to what you preset it to.
Definitely agree with that. And like I said, if you don't have that many languages installed in your language section, this is Hershey, by the way, you won't see those languages available. So for myself, I like English, Australia, for example, because Matilda, the vocalizer voice, sounds much better for my ears anyway, and I could understand it. I'm from originally from another country, so for me, I find it that that voice sounds a little bit more listenable. And you might not want, maybe the India voice is kind of naggy. It sounds naggy with the voice. I've heard the Nigerian English, and that sounded pretty punctual and like really bright. So it just depends what day of what you're trying to read an article, you're trying to do something, you get a choice. And this is the difference between changing voices on, let's say, an iOS device to a Android device. Both places give you the opportunity, but maybe Android, you might
Yeah.
have to download extra voices, you might have to just tune it up just a little bit, right? Like vocalizer voices are still available. Eloquence used to be available, not anymore, and that's that. But as far as vocalizer voices, you do have choices there. You have other apps, but Google Voices right now are sounding so humanistic. So you have your
Right, I
choices in
know.
it, and if you want to, let's take this example to routers on iOS to what Android offers. What you see as a router is exactly what you see on an Android device. So flipping through, let's say, the English languages or the languages, or flicking through characters, words, paragraphs, the usability is exactly the same. So, as far as how these devices are used, don't get caught up with the hype, is what I say. Don't get caught up with the marketing. It's how you want to accomplish a task. And so
Right.
I do appreciate you, Mr. Richard, but let's see if anybody else out there has any more questions, if that's okay with you. We'll see if anybody else has any other questions. And I do appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining from New York, New York.
Yeah, I was gonna say I like the women voices too with the accent, and I'm all for that. I'm like, yeah, okay, girl, but can you slow down? I don't know what you're saying. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right, so any other questions or comments? Okay, before anyone jumps in, I actually have a example for everybody for going back to the question on the Lady A devices on how to get that response sound and how to get the follow, and it's called follow up turned on. And as I was saying, you don't have to go into the app. You don't have to do settings. There is, and it's called adaptive sound, adaptive speech. Oops, oh well. So if everybody can hear me, Ziggy, turn on adaptive speech.
Just to confirm, you'd like to hear the song Adaptive Speech?
Oops, sorry, no. Ziggy, turn on adaptive sound. I think I already turned it on. Ziggy, yeah, turn on follow up.
Follow-up mode is already turned on.
Okay, so you can do that by saying Zig, well, I do Zigman. So all you have to do is say, Lady A, turn on follow up. If it's not turned on, it will turn it on for you. And just say, Lady A, turn on adaptive sound, and it will turn it on as well. Okay, any questions?
Hey, Ava,
Yeah.
it's Mandy again.
Yes.
On follow-up mode, it's what I read a description about that is when you can ask Alexa follow-up questions without repeating the wake words.
Yes, that's correct.
So then I think I do the same thing on Google.
Yes.
I don't ever know, like, am I going to have to say, hey, Google, because sometimes the response comes back as a different, well, like it didn't work the way I wanted it. She thinks I'm asking something totally different or something. But yeah, I think that's only if I forget and I say, okay, Google, or okay, Google.
Yes.
I didn't want to activate anyone's
device. Sorry about that. But yeah, it's that's the nickname I use.
Yes.
Jujul. But yeah, that one is so I'm not sure about the Amazon one if I'm gonna have that problem, but I do. Just this evening I had that with the Echo. I'm sorry, the
Okay.
Jujul Home. Don't like to say that, Google Home.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I appreciate it.
Okay.
And I hope I didn't hijack your question, Mr. Dana. I hope you got what you were looking for earlier.
Okay, so any other questions, any comments? Don't be shy.
This is Kevin.
Yes, Kevin.
And I think I brought this up last time or a couple of months ago, but something that Hershey was talking about, this is not Android related. They said that they were going to come out with a app that would kind of activate this, but for situations like the lasagna that he was talking about, you can go to directionsforme.org and put in the product that you have. And now it's expanded to more than just food products, but they have the preparation instructions and the nutritional facts for a lot of items, especially mainstream like frozen items or, cake mixes and cornbreads and stuff like that. But you can go to directions. It's a real easy to navigate site. And so it works on your phone. And so if you have something like Way Around or something like that that you're using, or any kind of NFC tags, you could copy that information and put it into one of the fields so that way, when you locate or find that product, you can have those cooking instructions or cooking directions right there with the product. So I know that
Kevin, what was the name of that real quick?
it's directionsforme.org. So they had said that they were going to come out with a scanner where that when you did it, this was years and years ago, but that never materialized. But the site has continued to live on. And like I said, they've added more than just food products now. But it's really helpful for something like setting up way tags, or Speakable is another NFC-based tagging system that you can use. Or you can just copy the contents and put it in Google Docs or Google Keep or something if you just wanted to have some little recipe cards or cooking direction cards locally on your phone.
Thank you, Kevin. That sounds really interesting. I mean, that's one little weak edge. Here's, I mean, we were speaking live, so might as well. We're on the internet, the internet, as they call it. But when are we going to get to the balance of, it doesn't matter if it's Amazon, it doesn't matter if it's Walmart, it doesn't matter if it's whoever it is, right? I'm looking for that day for my own personal grievances as I'm kind of putting out here. Because when we were trying to cook, I mean, I cooked the Stouffer's thing. It was easy. It was like 133 minutes. You throw it in the oven. It's already, you put it for 20 minutes. If it's frozen, it thaws it. And then you wait a minute and then throw it back for another 1 hour, 33 minutes. Sure, the lasagna was great. But in the essence of directions, the essence of Microsoft versus Google versus this brand, that brand, it gets so confusing. But all we were trying to do is eat. So I kind of found it, my own personal take on it was interesting, where the directions weren't hard. I found out how to get the food into the oven, of course, and my ILS training and such. And sometimes it's that in between phase that we go through. But my phone did well. Lookout told me exactly what the directions were. It told me the calories and count and all the fun stuff there. And that experience was, it put food in my belly, and I still have some in the fridge right now that, after this call, more than likely I'm gonna go devour. But it's, how do we take the littlest things and not, think of it as unbearable? Because there are so many apps, there's so many different devices, but at the end of the day, how I find it, and I know Shay and other people are new here tonight, is Android in itself is like, if you get the Patriot is based off of Android. If you get the blind, the barrel, no touch and stuff, they're all based off of Android. But what does Android really mean to each individual, right? So the Pixel phones with Assistant, it's integrated really well. So hey, hey, message Shay and then let her know that next month on third Wednesday is the next show, or something like that, something silly like that. But it's gonna capture that text, and it's the seamlessness part of it. We all want seamlessness, and I want to share a site real quick as we are. It's to put bugs out there, even if it's a Samsung bug, even if it's a Google Pixel bug, even if it's an Android bug in general. The site is g.co, so golf dot Charlie Oscar /disability support. This gives you an opportunity to get in touch with Google and their developers or their customer service people. And I found where, when Pixel came out and it had like the color inversion, because I like using color inversion. That's my thing. It's my jam. I get it that some people might be totally vision lost. I get, we all are on different planes. But TalkBack had a gesture where I asked for it, where you swipe whatever gesture you want, you pick the accessibility button, and you could have color inversion happen in a snap just by flicking a gesture. So something like this is highly recommended, just because it gives you encouragement that you could go to g.co /disability support. Figure out if you want to talk to them by phone. Figure out if you want to email them. You could figure out if you want to use Be My Eyes, as we spoke about earlier. Mr. Richard and Mr. Dana spoke about it earlier. And that will connect you at least with somebody that could use your camera. Hey, I got this Nest thermostat. I need to figure this junk out because I don't get it. The apartment complex installed it, but how do I work this thing? So stuff like this is a resource. This call in itself is a resource. So you can find this call again on YouTube. We have a podcast named after the same show, iBUG, Android Insight podcast. Add the podcast. That's all you got to do. You add that podcast word, and you'll find a lot of things, which is one of us is us. So anything we've said, it is recorded. I hope that we've answered many questions, but I'll put it back to you guys if you have more questions.
Yeah, Dana.
Go ahead, Mr. Dana.
Well, I'm going back to the a lady, and I just tried it. I call it Echo, and it says, I said,
This might answer your question. First clip I
Echo, stop. I said, I told her to turn on what Ava said to do, and it said, sorry, I don't know that, and I don't know what to do now.
Yeah, try it again, because mine did that as well. But tell it to turn on, try to say turn on follow up.
Echo, turn on follow up.
Follow-up mode is already turned on.
Okay.
Now say, tell it to turn on adaptive sound.
Echo, turn on adaptive sound.
Sorry, I'm not sure about that.
Okay. It's the terminology. Hang on, I think it's adaptive speech.
And you're telling me to try that?
I guess Ava's gonna give it a shot with her
Oh,
the microphone muted real quick.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
it's speech.
Okay. Echo, turn on adaptive speech.
Did you mean play the song Adaptive Speech?
No.
No. No.
And we've tried adaptive sound, right?
Echo, turn on adaptive sound.
I don't know that one.
I will research it again to get the correct terminology for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to take up so much time.
No, Mr. D, not at all. Computers, they don't. We taught them how to say it, and it's not diapers. It's something else. It's
Yeah. Well, thanks for your help.
Okay. So, is there any other questions, comments?
This is Gail. I was looking at something under the blind Android users, and they were talking about changing the sidebar key from Bixby to Google Speech. Does anybody know anything about that? I saw the article, but I haven't read it yet. The video, rather.
Anybody got some answers for Miss Gail?
This is Kevin.
Go ahead, Kevin.
I read some of it, but I haven't looked at the instructions.
Mm-hmm.
I am, I guess, one of those weird people. I like having two separate processes. So I actually get some benefit out of Bixby, so I didn't want to reroute my button, but I will read up on it.
That's what I was thinking too. I like
Samsung
Bixby,
phones,
so I was
but I
wondering.
like using
So this is
Bixby
Hershey
most of the
real quick
time,
for
so I
both of you,
didn't.
Kevin and Gail. What they're using is called Good Lock, right? So Kevin, if you've heard of Good Lock from the Samsung store, Good Lock has a thing called routines. And so with routines, you could switch the key component. So it's, how Samsung has Samsung Labs kind of stuff going on, if you're familiar with that. It's part of that kind of proposition to you. So if you wanted to get it, you would type into Samsung Galaxy Store Good Lock.
Okay.
GOODLOCK, I believe. It's not Good Look, I don't think. I mean, hopefully everything's looking good on Samsung, but Good Lock. And then once you type that, there's a app within the offerings, and it's called Routines. So if you get Routines or Routine Plus or something like that, and when you get that app, you have components that give you the offerings of taking the side key or buttons and changing that from Bixby to Google Assistant or vice versa.
Okay.
In a nutshell.
Another thing, this is Kevin. Another thing that you can do as part of Android 12 is you can assign without having to do any modifications. You can go into the Samsung settings and you can assign what tapping the power button twice does. And that you can assign to Google Assistant. So that way you can kind of have the best of both worlds and you don't have to worry about installing another app and having to learn how to set up routines. And then also a part of Android 12, maybe even 11. And I'm not sure if this made it to Samsung One UI, but you can also use the back tap. So you can tap on the phone, on the back of the phone, and you can assign that to Google Assistant if you wanted to have a quick way of launching the Google Assistant without having to mess with Bixby or having to learn how to.
This is Gail. Kevin, what did you say the first thing you could do?
You can go into the settings. I think it might be under gestures or something, but you can assign an action for pressing the power button twice. So if you tap the power button twice, it can launch the Google Assistant if that's what you want.
Okay. Yeah, I like Bixby. I don't think I'd want to change that.
So that way you can have Bixby as one time, and then you could tap it twice for this assistant. So that way you can, but then you can also just say, hi Bixby or hey Google, and you can just go back and forth and launch them, so you can keep both assistants without any problem if you're going to use voice control anyway.
Okay, thanks.
Mrs. Foster. So, Kevin, what other gestures, what other things can you assign to like the back tap?
I have, you can assign anything on the Pixel phones. I haven't tried this with Samsung so much, but on Pixel phones, you can assign anything. So I have my Capital Metro app so that I can launch my pass on Metro Access. It doesn't launch the pass, but it at least opens the app. So you can pick just about anything. You can have it be maps or, your bank or whatever on the Pixel phones. I have to check into it on Samsung. I'm pretty sure it's the same way on Samsung as well. But you can tap the back of your phone. I think you have to tap it twice if you have accessibility on. I'm not really sure. But but I use it for launching Metro Access or launching the Cap Metro app. And you can also assign that to be the assistant, even though there's a way to launch the assistant with the side key, but you can have it be the assistant. You could have it be a different assistant. So, you can install Alexa. And, there's a lot of other assistants. There's Robin and Jarvis, and there's a whole lot of assistants in the Play Store. So you can have it be another assistant if you wanted to.
Thank you, Kevin and Foster. All right, so does anybody else have a question or comment? And just remember, if you want to review this, or because I know it's a lot of information coming out, you can go to ibugtoday.com, go to the iBUG Android Insight tab, and arrow down until you get to this episode on Wednesday, September 21st, and you can listen to the podcast there. Any other comments, questions?
This is Shay.
Yes, Shay.
I would like to thank you. I would just like to say this is amazing, this pool of knowledge that everybody has, and you share it in such an eloquent way that is understandable to those of us who don't have that skill. Thank you so much. I'm really tickled to be here, and I'll be back again.
Thank you, Shay. That's amazing to hear as feedback. Any other questions we could answer while we at it? I was wondering if you had any more questions tonight.
No, I don't. I'm really excited to think more about these things, though, so that I could come up with some good questions and be able to utilize my tools to the fullest.
So Ava, what about yourself? How has your journey been lately? The summer just went away. I mean, what month is it? September?
Yeah.
Earth, Wind, and Fire? Do you remember?
No, yeah, we have really gone by quickly for this year. But I do have a question. So, and I'm gonna throw this out because as we know on our phones, it's on the Samsung phones, we can set, like I have, okay, yes, I'm one of these people who like to go out there and look at apps, download them, try them out, and forget to get rid of them. Well, I have 19 home pages. And when you clear them out and empty one by moving the apps around, I know there's a command or a gesture that you can get to set home page. So, or default page. So that's the page that automatically comes up when you turn your phone on, or if you hit the home button, you go back to that page. But it also allows you to delete pages. Does anybody know the gesture to get into that setting?
This is
Mhm.
Kevin.
Go ahead, Kevin.
Yes.
So there's two ways that I know of to deal with this. I do remember there being a way to set. There is a way to set your default page. It with Samsung, it used to be the middle page. It used to be page like 2 of 3. I think they gave you 3 pages. Now I think it's page 1. There is also a way to lock your home screen so that um, you know, whatever you have set up now, it never changes, like your home screens, as far as you say, I have it the way I want it. And no matter what I install or no matter what I do, don't change it. And then the other thing that I always go and check is add newly installed apps to home screen. I have that unchecked. So most of my apps live in the app drawer. I only have one home screen. I only have one page, maybe 2 sometimes, but it just easily goes back to 1 because I start removing apps from the home screen. So those are the 2 ways, but it's in Samsung has one of the settings is home screens, but you can deal with the home screens in 2 different places. So because you can set like if you want a 5x5 grid, if you want the easy home screen, if you want to, show icon badges and all kinds of stuff. But there's a couple of different places, so it can get kind of confusing. But I always go and lock my home screen or make it to where it doesn't add that many, because I'd like to install a lot of apps too and test them out. And I don't always remember to uninstall them. So I don't want like 20 home pages. I'd rather just go to the app drawer and find them.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Kevin.
Hey, this is Hershey. So I try to mess with my Note 9. My S22 wouldn't work with me potentially there, but pinching your 3 fingers takes you to a home screen kind of page. If you hear anything about adding widgets or home screen or anything like that, that might be the area where you might be able to say flick to home screen 3 and then add that as your default, or go to your more options and then set whatever screen between the 19 screens. That's scary, Ava. That's scary. That's scary.
Okay. Thank
Any
you.
other questions? Sorry, I just got baffled by the 19 screens. Wow.
Hey, no, I've been deleting and moving and setting up folders. But that was one thing, because I'm also working on another phone that I'm trying to eliminate them down to that one screen or only 2 pages and let that be it, so that
Oh,
their
Ava,
apps are not
Ava,
on
let's
it.
just let the audience know. It doesn't matter if you have 25 screens. If it helps you to be productive and you know what screen number 25 is and what screen number 4 is in the morning, and then by nighttime you know what screen number 25 is, make it work for you, right? So if you're trying to do yoga in the morning, you might have your yoga apps on screen number 2. On your home screen, you have your everyday essentials, but screen number 1, you might put your icons as your yoga apps and your workout apps, perhaps. Maybe Ava might go swimming. We had our friend from Revision Fitness, so you might, download that app. But you might do other things. You might use Google Maps to spin around the city with your Uber or your Lyft or whatever app that you're using. So connectivity is still there. Doesn't matter what operating system. With fact of what Android offers, yes, it does have different voices. So we talked about tonight, just to give a little summation of it. Vocalizer, voices. VOCALIZER, voices. You get a couple few voices that we were using tonight. I was using the voice Ava. There are other voices out there as far as, um, I don't know, what do you call them, Ava? I mean, the other Ava, my co-host Ava. What do we call them? Just packages of voices. Cause don't you have Echo Oasis out there too? Don't you have better way? I mean, you like Ziggy. You named your speaker Ziggy for God's sakes. I mean, I don't know.
Well,
Yeah, this is Foster.
Go ahead,
Go ahead,
Foster.
Foster.
Yeah. Within the Alexa app, you can change the names of your devices. Because I think it was about 4 or 5 names, Ava, something like that.
Yeah, you have anywhere from Computer, Echo, Lady A, and Ziggy. And then, oops, then you can like I bought Samuel and Santa Claus.
Oh yeah,
But,
yeah.
Yeah.
And they have Shaq too. They have Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah. Now you don't just have to go through the app to do it. You can tell your device to change voice and tell it which name change its name, and it will change the name. That was one of the new features that came out about a year ago. That now you don't have to just go through the app to do it. You can just tell your device, say Lady A, change name to Echo.
Wow, Echo. Echo. Oh, sorry, my bad. And
it's called adaptive listening.
Go ahead with the raised hand person. Somebody that raised their hand, and we don't need to do this, but go ahead, speak up.
Yeah, Patricia. Yes, Patricia. We don't have to raise our hand. You just have to unmute and say your name.
If you're on a phone.
Audio now unmuted.
Okay. Can y'all hear me now?
There we go.
Yes.
We're here.
Okay. What is the best Android phone to use? Right now I have a Samsung Galaxy Small G7.
Okay.
What are the best apps?
S7, right? S7.
Yeah, Samsung 7.
All right. So I'm gonna field this one for you just real quick, just to get, because I was leaning into this, and you gave the perfect question right at the right time. So here we go with these phones, because it's confusing. Like, they got this phone, that phone. You go to the Spectrum guy, they're gonna sell you another phone. It's confusing, right? If you're veteran, they're gonna give you another phone. The general consensus, I'm not gonna recommend any phone to anybody, but general consensus: Google Pixel phones, they work in a specific way. So they have the assistant. We're all used to the assistant. So let's just say, hey, phone, hey, can you message Ava and let her know that, Ava, I'll be right there, right? So it'll message Ava from my contacts, just from a from my direction to who it's supposed to go to.
Right.
So that means assistant is working and dictation is working at the same time. So for phones as such, I kind of lean into that just for what they offer and what Android means to people. So Google Pixel phones from a 4A, a 5, a 6A, that is the most recent phone right now, 6 Pro, which is last year's, 6 regular was last year's. They will all give you amazing features and suite of features and what Google really is, and what all the other accessibility features are. The second thing is, on October 6th, matter of fact, they're going to release the Pixel 7. So Pixel 7 will be released. The Pixel Watch is anticipated to be released then too. And so depending on where you want to be as far as accessibility is concerned, and cost, right? Because cost is the other factor. 6A, you could buy a 6A for $450. The 7, I'm guessing they're going to push it anywhere from $799 to $1,000. Let's just say depending, right? 7 Pro and a 7, how these guys work. So anticipation-wise, accessibility features are covered in anything you get that is Pixel, period. Because it comes straight from Google, and that is who makes Android. However, here's the however part. On Samsung devices, they work just as well, and they're working closely to partner up, and they have a lot of updates available. Samsung currently is giving you updates for about 5 years, or 4 years, give or take, and that includes even security updates. So let's just say right now we're on Android 13, next one up, Android 14. That means from Android 13, you bought a new phone, you get 14, 15, and then 16. And then you get security updates thereafter. So for the 4 or 5 years, you're still getting what you need to get. So why I kind of don't like recommending, let's say, Motorola phones or what these cellular companies do, because they'll give you a phone such as A13, which is the newest phone in the A line, but it's the most minimal phone in the A line. The median is maybe A53, A73, right? It's kind of around those numbers. And here they're giving you A13. Think about the number to A23 or whatever. So you do get the features, you get the storage, you get all the fun stuff, but sometimes the features don't match accessibility wise. So to avoid any kind of, frustration kind of thing, it's always recommended, like, if you get a Pixel phone, it's always going to be accessible because it's coming straight from, the source. Samsung A series, A53, A73, those are the most modern. But if you stick at least to the 50 and the 70s and those, you're staying in a safe space. Even though I highly recommend the S series just because of the storage and everything else, bells and whistles that you get, and the phone's going to last you for 3 or 4 years. However, at the end of the day, Motorola phones and the phones that you already have, they're not going to work. It's just you don't have perhaps security updates, or you might not have an operating system update. So those are the little things to consider overall. But apps like Envision AI, apps like Lookup Assisted Vision by Google, or SuperSense AI, as we talked about earlier in the show, they're all going to be available on those operating systems. Modern operating system is 13. Most common operating system that people are using are 12, and old phones are still running 10 and 11. So that kind of gives you a whole perspective of what's out there. But just remember not to get sold by the sales guy that says this is better.
Okay. Especially phone that operates using the glasses too. And Ira. Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, Ira and the glasses. I just got off of a thing with Ira.
Yes, Miss Patricia. Like I said, and if you want to get on our mailing list, if you email us at iBUG or Android ANDROID Insight INSIGHT plus subscribe at groups.io. You could join our mailing list. If you have extra questions that we didn't probably address tonight, I'd try to spread it out to at least address everybody's concerns tonight. And thank you, Ava, for amazing shows tonight. And I'm going to pass it back to her. But that's our site. If you just want to reach out to us, give us a quick email, and we could maybe address your questions there.
Hey, this is Foster, right? Real quick.
Go ahead, Foster.
I know about the end. So Hershey, you asked me why did I like the One Plus, right? Why did I say that was my favorite phone?
Yes, sir.
Right. So my situation is a little different. I'm like I said, I'm a high partial, so I still have a lot of good vision, more or less, like where I can see the apps and stuff like that. And so I use TalkBack. I kind of like you said, it's all about finding your flow. So I've flow in and out of TalkBack. I use Google now. If you use your camera for the Google search, it'll actually pick up text, and you can have it read the text and stuff like that. And then I also use anybody who has a Microsoft 365 account. There's an app called Lens, LENS. You can use that app to also scan documents and have it read documents.
Good call. Microsoft Lens, by the way. Microsoft Lens.
Yep. And what's good too with that is if you have a business card, it will scan the business card, and then you can actually have it upload the information from the business card into your contacts. So
thank you, Foster. We right there, Foster. We're right there at the line. But hey, that is beautiful information. Thank you so much for that information, and thank you for everybody for joining us tonight. Thank you, Ava. I'm gonna pass it back to you. Let's any
Hello,
other last thoughts?
Hey, where can I get a
Go ahead.
Google Pixel?
Google Pixel, you could get it through your carrier, by the way. And if you wanted to, let's say Verizon, anything else, just type in Google Pixel, and you will find that device depending on Verizon or your major ones, AT&T, T-Mobile. And if you email us again, that email is excuse me, iBUG, IBUG, Android, Insight, plus subscribe at groups.io. We could definitely give you some more links and emails. So if you
Okay.
want to go ahead and sign up on that, send us a blank email to iBUG, IBUG, ANDROID, Insight, INSIGHT, plus subscribe at groups.io. And sorry to cut it short, guys, but we have hit 9:30, so I hope we answered most of y'all's question and we had some great information.
Thank you.
I'm gonna pass it back to Ava so if she could let us know next time to come by. I guess Ava's already out of here, but anyway, appreciate everybody. Thank you so much. We're gonna end the meeting now, but Ava, that's you over there. I hear you.
That her?
Kevin R has left the meeting alert.
All right, so